How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to look through more of my DVD collection. Today we're going to focus on Italian films, Italian horror movies. I got my lemon lime soda here. That's really good. Gonna start off, you're talking Italian horror. Dario Argento, probably the most famous Italian horror director. We have Phenomena here. This was originally released in the States as Creepers. However, the Creepers cut of the movie is significantly shorter, and I'd recommend trying to find the Phenomena cut because it's the longer the better. You get more of the plot, the other one's faster. But Phenomena has Jennifer Connelly and Donald Pleasence in it. Donald Pleasence, Sam Loomis from the Halloween movies. And so you have Jennifer Connelly, who is going to a girls' school, but unfortunately for her, there's a killer nearby. But she also has the ability to talk to bugs. She runs into Donald Pleasence, who is a scientist studying bugs, and tells her how she can use her powers to stay alive and figure out who the killer is. It's a really great movie. Argento has done Deep Red, Suspiria, The Three Mothers Trilogy. A really great director, but still, I'd have to say Phenomena, probably my favorite of his work. Next, we got another classic Italian director, Lucio Fulci with Zombi 2. So for those of you who wonder about the 2, it's the sequel to Zombie Dawn of the Dead. Zombie is, if you notice up there again, there is our Dario Argento presents George A. Romero's Zombie Dawn of the Dead. So Zombie is the international cut of Dawn of the Dead. Argento helped Romero get Dawn of the Dead made, and he got to do the international cut, Zombie. So Zombie 2 is actually the sequel to the international cut, and while we're talking about Argento and Romero, Romero actually cast Argento's daughter in Land of the Dead, the fourth in the Night of the Living Dead series. So that's a fun bit of trivia. So the sequel to the international cut, and you don't need to see the international cut to understand this movie. It's relatively self-contained. It was going to be its own movie until they thought, hey, why not shoot some New York shots and tie it in? So you can really just go into this not having seen anything. There's more of the traditional cover. Shriek Show did this version of the movie, 25th anniversary special edition, and this has a whole nother disc of special features. So basically, you get this guy, he figures out about the zombie plague from this one incident in the States, and tracks it back down to this island. So this is a zombie island movie, which is a great subgenre that's really underutilized. Lots of fun zombie stuff in here. Zombies get to pop out of the graves, and it's great. It's one of my favorite zombie movies. If you haven't seen it and you're any bit of a zombie fan, check it out. One of the many unofficial, well, semi-official for this one, sequels to Romero's movies. You may also remember Return of the Living Dead, the unofficial sequel to Night of the Living Dead, where the events of that movie are a movie that was based on a true story. It's kind of weird, the complete Romero zombies timelines, which I may make a video about in the future. Up next, a third big Italian director, Mario Bava, with Black Sabbath, starring Boris Karloff. This is one of the vignette movies, with 3 sections, like Creepshow or Trilogy of Terror. Here's the disc there, and I'm going to take a look at this paper, because this paper has the original cover on it. Black Sabbath. So the first story is one of the lady gets a mysterious, threatening phone call stories, kind of like When a Stranger Calls, or like the beginning of Scream. It is a really early example of that. The next, this lady she steals jewelry from a dying woman, and her ghost haunts her, which is really fun. There's some great spooky makeup in this. And the third, you get Boris Karloff playing a mysterious figure. So a guy walks up to this castle where mysterious stuff is going on, and you don't quite know who Boris Karloff is or what he's up to or if he's friend or foe, so got to be careful about him. It's a great one. If you're doing horror anthologies, if you like anthology horror movies, which I might make a list of later, but that's a good example. Also, Black Sabbath, the inspiration for Ozzy Osbourne's band name. Up next, we got two movies that go together. We have Death Walks at Midnight and Death Walks on High Heels. Both these movies star Susan Scott and Simon Andu, and they share the Death Walks title, as well as they're both directed by Luciano Ercoli. I hope I got that at least somewhat close to being right. American, Anyway, these are both very good movies. We got the Arrow releases here. So yeah, it's kind of like American Horror Story, where it's similar actors, same title, but other than that, they're both giallo. They're not similar in too many ways. You can watch either one first. I'd recommend Death Walks at Midnight. That's the better one. So, giallo is Italian horror movies that are kind of a blend of film noir and what eventually would become slashers, proto-slashers kind of, and they're these mysteries, and you don't really know what's going to happen, and the killer's killing people, and it's really violent, and you have to figure out who did it. In Death Walks on High Heels, she's a fashion model, and someone's trying to kill her, and she gets caught up in this big plot. It's pretty good, but it's not near as good as Death Walks at Midnight. Death Walks at Midnight was one of the first giallos I ever saw, and it got me really big into the genre. She's a reporter in this one, and she takes some experimental medication, and during her drug trip, she remembers this repressed memory of a murder she saw out her window. The killer has this big spiked glove thing, and she tries to figure out who was killed, who killed her. It's this murder. I don't think the police even know about it. And lots of great twists and turns without getting overly complicated or silly. It's a really well-developed mystery, and after seeing this, I wanted to watch more, like the Three Animals trilogy that Argento did, or the early Bava stuff. There's lots of great giallo. Maybe I'll do a list just about giallo later, but if you're talking Italian films, you gotta talk giallo, Italian film noir slashers, and really a great movie. This is a good place to start. Anyway, I hope you all have a good day, and I'll see you again really soon.